Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Koppel. So take that short money saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit. Stock number G214773.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
This is 93.7 The Ticket.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Three-time national champion Vershawn Jackson.
Touchdown. Vershawn Jackson, number 34, gets the touchdown. Terrell Farley, defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bakoven.
I've talked to a few cats. They said that Bach got some game, man.
Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer. Here he is, Vershawn Jackson.
Welcome to the Captain Show. I am the Black Shirt Terrell Farley. This is 93.7, and I'm with
Bach.
And I got another guest over there. I'm with
DP.
And we are in the house. There is no captain today, so it's just three guys in a red room in a dark day for Husker basketball, as we were one and done with the men's. The women's did get to the second round, but hey, if you live by the three, you die by the three. Bob, how you doing, sir?
Oh, not too bad, other than what you were saying. I mean, it could have been a better results weekend wise, but it was still a blast to be there. Again, the Nebraska fan base is not usually in this situation, so it's cool to see Nebraska part of it. It was something we still obviously remember for quite some time. And as DP and I talked about in the post-game show, maybe the talk should have been around a streaky Texas A&M shooting instead of bad Texas A&M shooting, because they were certainly hitting against Nebraska. Wade Taylor leading that group, and of course, didn't quite hit at the same rate against Houston, but still took them to the brim. And it's just been a fun weekend. I mean, how can you ever complain about NCAA March Madness, both on the men's and women's side? A lot of craziness going down, and now the start of spring football.
Yes, sir. Start of spring football yesterday, and I think I'll try to get down there one day this week and see how things go. DP, what you say about the game, sir?
Well, I mean, we kind of went through. I was just celebrating
being there.
I was celebrating the journey from being the men's program not being a great program for several years, and then finding a way, and then beating a number one seed in Purdue and knocking off Wisconsin and getting on a streak and having you're 19-1 at home. That means that on those 20 occasions, you had a really good year. Like you had a really good year. The experience, the growth, development, all of those things, right? Some pride. You can say it with your chest. You can put Nebraska on your chest and you can stand out and be proud of it. So, and then the double bye in the tournament, and then actually winning a game, and then you get into Final Four status, and then you're not only in the tournament, but you're an 8 seed, and all of that with drama around you. Yeah, there was a lot to celebrate. Like I said at the Bach, it was really fun Thursday and Friday at Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Yeah, to come out and celebrate us because we never had that since we've been on the radio.
Yeah, like it was really fun to see happy Husker fans.
Yeah.
It was fun to be included. Like there's a dance going on that you actually got invited to. Like that's a party that you were invited to. Right? And you go, wait a minute. This is what it's like to be amongst the cool kids again. Right? Because we've been eating at the other table. Sit over at the kiddie table while the grown-ups over here handling business. So, yeah, the end result, if you're chasing end result, ultimately in sports, if you're chasing the end result, you're going to fail. All but one team will fail in this tournament.
Yeah.
Like everybody's going to get got. Like for all the really good programs, you're going to get got. So go into it that way, appreciating the fact that you got there. This is not a participation trophy. This is, you know what? That is achievement. Because Indiana, there's some stellar programs in the Big Ten Conference that didn't get to dance this weekend. Like they were sitting back, Minnesota, what y'all doing? Indiana, Penn State, like there's some programs. So allow yourself to celebrate and say that was really cool to be a part of it. Didn't finish the way you want, but look.
Yeah, as I drove around Lincoln Friday night to watch, try to go watch the game, every place I stopped by, standing room only. And I don't want to stand, so I rode around and listened to it on the radio.
Yeah.
I never heard so many things about taking threes as I heard on the radio. It's like every time we went down to shoot, we were shooting the three, but Texas A&M was making the threes.
Well, I mean, but that's here's the thing with that, Farley. Like and depends on the type of talent you have on your team. Like some teams just that's what they do, and they practice it and they drill it and they have success at it. And there are teams that do it at their own demise. But you are who you are. You couldn't have gone to the Orange Bowl and then decided you were going to go. You were to spend most of your time in a 3-5 because that's what would have worked at the time. But no, that's not what you did, and that's not what your success was based on. Bach and I talked about it. I thought that a lot of the preamble to this thing was that Texas A&M couldn't shoot. I'm like, man,
that's a lie.
Yeah, like. Well, I mean, in this space, I'm okay with allowing people to have their opinions, but I also do my own work. So if you tell me that it's kind of thing we were talking about earlier, if somebody tells me that this is a good person or not, I will say, are they a good person now? And what happened between then and now? Like that matters. The moment matters. Where are you now? Don't tell me where you've been. Tell me where I'm going.
Yeah. I don't stay at that house no more.
Right. Right. Like you right. That right. Like Texas A&M said, okay, keep believing that we're not good at this thing and watch us take you to the woodshed. And they look, Houston had to moonwalk into a win last night against them. Overtime. Like Texas A&M has some dogs on that team. They have some dogs. But because people in the Midwest didn't follow them, they didn't know. That's another thing. If you spend all your time watching Nebraska and Big Ten, you miss a lot of really good college basketball.
Yeah.
And so you get into tournament time and you're like, oh, you're prognosticating based on what somebody else said rather than your own vision and your own experience. So kudos to Nebraska for having that fight in them, because they still, I mean, again, they didn't quit. They didn't shut down. They didn't, bail. And for the women, look, they battled. But it's the same situation. Sometimes it's the other team's night.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just not your night.
Yeah.
And what you hope is that both the men and women's team took the experience, and now that they're familiar, 1, you want more. 2, you're willing to work for more. 3, you understand the difference between where you are, which is good, and great. Like, you now know, there's some real long teams out here that we're going to have to learn how to deal with.
Yeah.
There's some real athletic teams that we know how to deal with, because in both of those situations, Nebraska is not the most athletic basketball program, men's or women's. They're not the longest, but they now know what they need to do to get better.
Yeah, I watched the women's game. I watched the Texas A&M game. I didn't get the chance to watch the other game yesterday, but they played so good against Texas A&M in the first half. It kind of got scary in the second half because Texas A&M girls kind of figured us out in the second half. But they had a great lead, and they held on, and that was one thing I was proud of our young women for what they did.
Yeah, it this is what's really funny is watching other people watch the Huskers, like people that, again, it's the same thing. Like, if you got your friends, if you have your friends in it, my friends in DC don't watch the Big Ten unless they hear me yelling about the Big Ten. Then they go, oh, okay, what's going on over here? My friends in Cali don't watch the Big Ten. They certainly don't watch the ACC in full. And they're going, well, wait a minute, how did we not know about NC State? Well, you weren't gonna know about them because you saw them early and you saw that they were meh. They were meh. If you saw them in December, you saw NC State, you went, meh, okay. But if you saw them in the ACC tournament, you went, oh, they're cooking a little bit here. There's something else that happened. So we're learning. Nebraska has I think they're in a good place, because the men's team, again, you're number 3 ranked in the Big Ten as the season finished. For the women, to me, that should be an annual top 5 program in the Big Ten. It might be reaching. Bach, is it a reach?
Well, you don't have to worry about Iowa too much no more next year, because they don't have that shooter again.
Well, I will find shooters.
Yeah.
They know where the factory where shooters are made. They know where to go shopping for shooters. Bach, I'll ask you, is it too much to ask that both of these programs are top 5 each year in the Big Ten?
I think that's a good goal. I mean, if it, you don't want to overreact if you're 9th or 10th one year but keep getting back in there. I think that's a good kind of looking forward and moving forward to it. But, it is all about kind of taking steps as a program. I mean, we want to look at on the men's side, we want to look at it and we want to say, this is the start of a building block. We give the contract extension. Here we go. But don't forget so soon what happened with Tim Miles' group when they made the NCAA tournament. They brought a lot of guys back. It was kind of a similar situation. Now, this team, I think, was a little bit more deep and well-rounded than that team, so maybe there's some belief that it should be happening. But it's kind of funny because as you think about it, well, of course they gave Fred Hoiberg an extension. He made 1 tournament in a row. And that's what you can say. It's in a row at Nebraska because that starts the thing. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have done that. Obviously, that's business is business. You got to do that to protect your assets long term anyway. But I think that it's a good goal, but we still have to kind of understand our spot in the basketball world and then push forward and move above and beyond, and then start to kind of look at those next goals. Kind of like you were saying, it was just cool to be dancing, and you could try to take that out of maybe like the trip, the idea. But for a lot of people, and I said this too, is I think Nebraska was kind of playing with house money because they were already overachieved what was expected of them. And sometimes you can be the dangerous team playing with house money, and sometimes they can come up short. Again, I don't think this was necessarily an effort thing, or they weren't locked in or anything like that. They just ran up against a buzzsaw in Texas A&M that, like you said, I mean, when you look at the end of Texas A&M, I know they gave up 58 points at half and 98 points total. I mean, so you got to ask more out of your defense. But at the same time, Texas A&M now in their last several games has scored 95, 98, 90, 97, 80, 86 even. So they've been putting on, that's like an average of 90 something plus points.
That wasn't a Nebraska thing.
Right, not necessarily.
And that wasn't a you can't defend thing. That's in the SEC tournament and in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's tournament Texas A&M. So
you're playing again. Here's the thing. Nebraska has its own style, and it's still forming who it is. And it plays in a conference that has a particular style of play. And so people try to master that style of play within the conference and then take that style of play and then hope that it matches up against everybody else. But Big Ten's national success hasn't exactly been long running or consistent. So then the conversation starts. So the question is, what is your mission? Like, what's mission one? Is the mission one to win 25 games in the regular season? Because that's the bulk of your season. That is the bulk of your season. So your regular season, how you play in the regular season is your job. That's the standard for what it is. Because that's people buy tickets. If you buy in 30 tickets, tickets for 20 home games, you want to win during those 20 home games. Then you want that to translate and transfer over to the tournament. And you want success in the tournament. And then if you've done those two things right, then you get to go to the big tournament. And then you try to find a way to win in that tournament. But the real thing that Nebraska's done is figured out how to win 20 plus games in the regular season, which is a perfect standard to work from every year, that we have to do this. We have to be this good. It's in football. You have to win 10 games, like you or 9, whatever wavering you want, because you get other things because you did the important thing first. You can't talk about bowl games and national championships and ranking without figuring out how to beat the people you face every year all the time. Because if you have a flaw, Iowa knows it. If you have a flaw, Michigan knows it. If you have a flaw, right, and you know how to beat Iowa, even if you can't execute it, you still know how, because you see them all the time. Then you go to a bowl game where a different style of play is often required. Then you try to figure out, well, wait a minute. How do I beat Miami in the Orange Bowl rather than competing against Colorado? They're not the same teams. They don't have the same talent. So your style of play against Colorado or against, Iowa State or whoever Oklahoma gives you the best vision, or gave you the best vision for what Miami, Florida State, what that was like. Farley, is that not true? Is that how you prepared for your conference season was different than you preparing for a bowl game? Because it was one chance for y'all to get it right in a bowl game against people you didn't know as well.
Yeah, it was kind of different because now we playing a fun and gun team. We don't see that in the Big 8. So I mean, you measure your next opponent to that, and you probably would say Colorado, they pass like that. You probably say Kansas State, they pass like that. Mm-hmm. But then you go to Oklahoma and the other teams, they don't play like that. So now you got to change your game plan, and we got to practice even harder. But at the same time, we know we're ready. We just got to get ready.
Yeah, you're in shape. Like you the things that, and this is the foundational stuff that gets missed. Your strength program and your conditioning program, and then how you watch film. Those things, that's your program. That's the cultural stuff that gets you ready so that, oh, we're going to change the style of play, but we're in shape, we're strong, and we know what we're doing. Like, we know what we're doing. We may not know what they're doing, but we can go over our rules of engagement, keys to the game, scouting keys, that sort of stuff. And then you deal with the extracurricular stuff that ends up off the floor or off the field.
Yeah.
And
you always got to do what got you there. You can't change it up once you get there.
Right. Like all of a sudden you can't go, well, hey, we run our offense through ring mask, except for when they take ring mask away, we don't have a plan. No, you better have a plan. And that's how you know the difference between good programs and great programs. And then you certainly get to identify bad programs because they don't have any of this stuff in play. Like we saw some bad basketball this year in the Big Ten. You don't necessarily know that it's bad until you watch Texas A&M, Houston, Gonzaga. You went, wait a minute. That doesn't look like the basketball we've been watching. It doesn't look that way. I mean, Bach, think about it. You look at North Carolina, they move differently.
Yeah, I mean, that's why there was talk even from Coach Hoiberg saying, like, this is, if you can compare maybe in Illinois or Rutgers, he was just pointing out some of the more athletic teams in the Big Ten. That's what Texas A&M would compare to. So, I mean, it's a bit of a humbling moment, I think, too. I mean, Nebraska fans, maybe it was the Trev Albert stuff, but there's a lot of confidence buzzing, like this was going to be the time. And it just kind of felt like, maybe that was going to be the case. And so it's a learning opportunity, and within every loss is a lesson learned, and Nebraska can move on past that. Now the question is now that you don't lose a lot, you lose Josiah Alec and Keisei Tamanaga as far as the contributors go, Boogie Coleman as well off the bench. Is the style that Nebraska plays with, is this a culture thing? Is this a team thing? You know what I mean? Is this a program wide thing? Are they going to continue to, because they implemented the defense a couple years ago, put more emphasis on that. And most times that's worked. Now, if other teams are shooting well beyond the arc, you're going to have to concede something no matter what you do. And that's where Nebraska kind of fell into some struggles this year. Texas A&M also had quite a bit of success attacking the hoop because we know Nebraska is not a complete team. It's a good team, but not a complete team. But that's kind of the question is do you, and I don't know if there's a right answer or wrong answer because the best coaches can blend to the roster that you have, but program wise, it's best to kind of set, well, this is who we are. We're going to recruit to that identity, and then adjust with what you have to go, along the way. So it's interesting. And part of it's just, I think a lot of it is just who can you get to campus? Because you can try to say, no, now we're going to switch it up. Now we're going to be more athletic and drive to the hoop. But if you don't have the bodies to do it, then that's probably a faulty idea.
So imagine Nebraska before Terrell Farley shows up. What they were doing, they had a plan. But if they had stuck to a traditional player at that position, you miss out on Terrell Farley. So you have to kind of have some idea about the system that you're in. But then you have to be open to, oh my goodness, we got one here. Like we got it, and he's a different type of player. You can marry the old style, or you can be fluid and say, you know what? I need to let this superhuman speedball, like this Tasmanian devil, just go. Like I can't. You imagine the nightmare of telling Terrell Farley, no, stay in system. Farley, they had to. I'm sure you went through some discussions, and they're like, Farley, this is not normally what we do, but here you're okay to innovate and be creative. Do what you see.
Well, I'm more efficient blitzing. I'm more efficient dropping back, but my coaches use me as a blitzing machine. So I'm a better blitzer probably than anything, or probably anybody that was on the team because I can read it on the dime. But the thing I say with Nebraska basketball is we got to get a big man. And I think that's where, you say, let's go smaller and quicker. Mm-hmm. But you still need that big man to help in the inside when we need those rebounds, or when we need that contested shot block, or just to put your hands up. And that's one thing we didn't have this year. So I think Fred Hoiberg needs to go out and get him a big man, at least a 7-footer. We need a 7-footer.
Well, I do think that that's part of the interesting thing moving forward too. Is I
that
think,
was my question. Like what position do we need next?
Well, to
make this team go.
To DP's point, I mean, you can have this system that you want, but all of a sudden, if Zach Edey wants to show up to campus, you might drop your system pretty quickly.
Right, you have to change it,
right, and go with what's there. But that's the interesting thing too. Is as we look at this roster, and there's a question off the text line too about how do you keep these guys, and that's a whole nother animal in the modern day of college basketball. We'll see. As far as retaining the entire roster, probably won't happen. There might be a departure or two. But the other thing is, like, you naturally think, okay, Keisei Tamanaga is the biggest loss. I mean, the biggest thing you have to replace on this roster. It'd be hard to argue that Josiah Allick is not that guy just because of the lack of big men, to Terrell's point, that can fill that role.
Yeah, here's where we stand. One, you didn't go into last year knowing that you needed a Josiah Allick. Last year, you didn't know what Keisei Tamanaga's senior year was going to look like. You didn't know whether he was coming back. The game goes on and it evolves. How you treat players in the program is how you keep players and recruit other players, because those are the guys that put the word on the street.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other part of it. Coaches are under contract. Players are under agreement. There's a difference. There's a difference. And in a time where coaches, Linzer could get the call and he's gone. But if you were recruiting or you were choosing Nebraska because of the way they play defense, and then that's taken from you, look, it's a shopper's market now. So stick to what you do, how you do it, and then if a player of note walks in, consider. If somebody wants to leave, consider. Because if you know what you're doing, it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Rashawn's got something that he has to take care of today. We're set up so that, you know what? Next man up.
That's it. We don't miss a beat. But Bob, I got one thing for your question about Trev Albert.
What's that?
He ain't out there shooting, so it didn't bother us. So we got to move on from the Trev Alberts. Like he's out there playing football, basketball, baseball, track, all these sports. He's just a man that talks.
And tweets.
And tweets. Twitter fan.
Yeah.
All righty. The fastest 2 hours in radio has started. 93.7 The Ticket. We will be right back.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hello? Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with your cell for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strength, strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Now, to tie it back to Nebraska men's basketball, this group has a chance to do something that hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
You know, in making a run in the Big Ten tournament, a serious run, in winning the first NCAA tournament game, but they're not going to get there by doing the same things they've always done. It is on this team to step up and change that narrative. It won't change on its own. Teams won't lay over for you, and that's the mindset shift we haven't consistently seen yet.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
We do not go quietly in the night on early break. We don't, and we won't.
Is that our motto now? Is that our new show motto? Look at that. We let you have that moment.
Yes.
We won't.
We won't.
We don't.
We won't. It's our new one. Yeah, I'm getting a T-shirt. I want
But we don't go quietly in the night. We voice.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
With a Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry.
This deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch the NCAA tournament from the round of 64 all the way to the championship. Bring your friends and family in to enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game, as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early, grab your spot, and settle in for a day of NCAA tournament basketball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Ticket 93.7. I'm the Black Shirt Terrell Farley, and I'm with Bach and DP.
You are indeed.
We switching it up today. No captain. Bach, I'm going to let you take it over on this one, Bach.
Well, I do have one question for you. I know you're a Bulldogs fan. Georgia Bulldogs, of course, doing well in the SEC. Didn't quite get a championship. I'm not teasing you like Rashawn does. I like the Bulldogs myself. But they do have an opportunity. As you know, they play between the hedges. It's quite a tradition down there in Athens. But they've had to replace those hedges. So the opportunity is there if you want to. If you want to, as a donor, you can pay $15,000 to plant one of the hedges that they can play in between for probably the next 20 years or whatever it is. I think they replace them every 20 years. Terrell, is $15,000 of your money going to play to just plant the hedges? It will take all of 10 seconds, I think.
Next question, Bob. I tell you what, if I was a millionaire and I probably had the money to do it, who knows? You know, if I can buy me a permanent seat at Nebraska football game, I probably would. But you know, money rules the world. So you know, people can afford and do things that they can afford to do, and some people can't. And I'm one of those people who can't.
Is the seat included?
No, this is just.
Do you get some other perk?
No, well, you get to watch your plant, as you know. You get to point out your plant to folks. I guess when you go to the Georgia game, it's a great opportunity, I think, for the marketing department at Georgia to capitalize on the recent success. Obviously, it's a tough ticket to get in town, and it's a big tradition down there between the hedges. So, as as mind-boggling as it may be, no, you just plant the hedges.
Is there a thing at Nebraska that would be of the same thing as the
Bricks? Well, back in the days, we had the bricks. When we walked out, people would have their names on the bricks.
But that's an everywhere thing.
Oh well,
yeah.
But what's like? Because look, hustlers hustle, right? So once you find out that people will pay for bricks, there will be bricks. Like there will be bricks. Like
That's a good point. Yeah.
like oh, y'all paying for bricks. Oh, okay. Well, guess what, y'all? We need to sell some bricks. As a matter of fact, I would pretty much imagine that pretty soon Nebraska will be selling some more bricks. But is there a thing? What about Memorial Stadium is its hedges?
Probably the club seats.
Yeah, I don't know if there's necessarily like the horseshoe. Like if you wanted to, like that's what I kind of think of as something like in
Balloon,
that's affecting.
Ham and Bean said balloons, which they don't do.
They're gone now. Yeah.
Which
Maybe we could get it back. We got a new
athletic director. Well, there are things, right? So what is? I mean, I hope that it's not Runza's.
No,
I hope that it's not Valentino's. Like, what is? I mean, we're in spring game week month anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect thing. What is it that is the experience, the thing about Memorial? Is it the legacy, the history? Is it the story? Like, what is it that Nebraska could say, hey, pay $15,000 to be a part of, and you could be a part of this, and people would come running?
Ooh.
Like, would you want to put your own seat in the stadium? Imagine if they said to you, okay, you could put the final drills in your new seat, or you could paint your name on the back of it, or something. Like, what would it be that makes Memorial Stadium so unique that it's truly a Nebraska thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think outside of the balloon release, that was kind of Nebraska's niche. That was kind of their deal.
The hot dogs shot in the stadium.
Yeah, but again, it's kind of like the bricks. Everything that we could
the
mention.
wiener slinger.
Nathan's.
A lot of this stuff is pretty countrywide. Like you said, I mean, there's going to be unique food options, but I don't know if you necessarily have anything like that. I mean, there's been jokes before when you bring up between the hedges is put some corn on the sideline.
Yeah,
the same
right. Like
thing.
plant some corn. Like
Yeah.
do something. Like, I mean, there should be something that identifies the place specifically to Nebraska. Like I and as you bring up the point, the Wiener Slinger should be a club that like you're able to get shirts for. Like that's another missed opportunity, another missed marketing opportunity. What is it? Like
I think probably the student section is the best thing we got going on.
But there's the conversation that should be moved and redone.
Yeah. Why?
Because one, it's in the wrong place.
It is, but
it's in the wrong place.
It should be in the end zone of the opposing team, I think.
Yeah, the question would be, where do students want to be? Two, why do the people who aren't students want them where they are? Because if you don't identify those two things, the rest of it's just going to continually go in a circle.
Right. And if you put the students right behind the bench, the opponent's bench, or whatever they want to do, you got some sales that you're losing, as opposed, those are high premium seats. The other thing is and I like the student section, so don't get me wrong. I'm not taking shots at him. But while Memorial Stadium has stayed relatively full through the droughts and the losses and the second halves of things that aren't going well, the student section does not.
Well,
so I don't know if that's the best idea to highlight that.
If you make the experience so good, people will show. Like if you make the experience, if you put them in a place where they matter and it's enjoyable and there's visibility and you get to be a part of the game experience, then move them. The question, you remember the old adage is that the game used to be for the students.
That's a long time back.
Like, well, I mean, but I mean, it's a part of tuition. It's a part of like all those things. So tell me it's important by telling me it's not important.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing I figured out that over the years, Nebraska football has changed so many things with coming out on the other end, switching sides, switching this, switching that. I think that's the real curse of our football team is just switching so many things around that you don't want to leave it the old way. Not saying the old way is the great way, but this tradition we have is so rich and that we changed it so much to try to break this curse that I don't know what we need to do to make this
get better at football.
I mean, yeah, that's
like,
one.
Like, I mean, look, all of this is distraction and peripheral stuff to the thing. When they say keep the first thing first, winning football is the thing. So everything but so if you move the students to help you win games, the place for them is behind the opposing team's bench.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow money to make the decision for you, then that's the first thing. And that's how you got where you are, is by allowing money to be the first thing way too many times.
Yeah.
Right? The student athlete experience, the students themselves, their experience. When you put those things on the back burner, this happens. This is how you got here. And you have to identify that this is how you got here. Then you say, okay, let's fix it. Can we make the Husker athletes so happy here that nothing else matters? Like, that would be the thing, that if you couldn't have got Farley out of a Husker uniform without a fight back when it was good because his experience was so good. Then you take away some of those things, or you're in denial that those things matter. The train wreck happens. The train wreck happens. So you have to know what it is you're doing. And spring game is a great chance to fix it. And you got a new athletic director and a relatively new coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just got to figure out Nebraska football and get us back on the winning edge.
I also
Farley, go ahead and give me the rap to this.
Oh. What you gonna do? Yeah.
Bocce, you know this one?
I don't know.
Gonna do, Bob?
I don't think I can rap to it, no.
You know Mystical?
Oh, I know Mystical.
Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. Things to know, Bob.
Right.
Trying to identify.
We moving on and on and on. And the traffic is moving on O Street. 1040 O Street, the Mill Coffee House, 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Spring is on its way. Are you prepared to keep the grass greener on your side? Blades Lawn and Landscape has a position opened at a homeowner association to their client list, with residential and commercial openings also. Transform your yard into a private oasis with the professional services offered by Blades Lawn and Landscape, including landscape walls and beds and a 5-step fertilizer program applied by a licensed professional. Call them today at 402-730-6320 or go to bladeslcc.com to schedule a free estimate on commercial or residential lawn services.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of rain expected throughout the day. See falling temperatures with a high around 52. Tonight, a chance of wintry mix and blowing snow possible. See a low around 23. And tomorrow, a slight chance of snow in the morning. Otherwise, mainly sunny and windy. High around 36. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker from 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Koppel. So take that short money saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit. Stock number G214773.
NEBCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEBCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEBCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I like DP. We got to have him in here a lot more. Yeah, Captain, we'll see you Thursday, okay?
You know some people. Like, you know the people to talk to make sure that happens.
Hey, it's you.
Is there anybody we can talk to? That's hilarious.
All right, welcome back to the Ticket 93.7. Bach, let's hit it on the text line, see what we got.
Well, going along with our idea, if you missed the last segment, we're talking about Georgia has a deal now where you can pay $15,000 to plant the seed that's going to create the hedges. They just pour out the old hedges. If you know Georgia football, you know between the hedges. And so does Nebraska have something like that they could sell that you would be interested enough to buy? And obviously, to Terrell's point, kind of matters where you are, but mostly to donors, for donors to buy. And Corey and Lincoln says the tunnel walk is the most visible thing we have with the game day experience, both in person and on TV. Not sure if you can monetize that in a way Georgia is monetizing the hedges. DP, you had some ideas about maybe monetizing the tunnel walk.
Well, here's the thing. We were talking about what would get people interested and to move on a thing, right? So what's your thing that identifies you? And as Corey said, tunnel walk. And so then I thought, if the mission is to get Nebraska football right, if I'm in control, the tunnel walk becomes an alignment with the mission. The walk from the locker room to the stadium doors opening should be lined up with former Huskers. Former players should be what? If Dylan Raiola is walking from the locker room and he knows that when those locker room doors open and he walks through and he sees Rozier, Fryer, Farley,
Frazier.
like if he sees what it's really all about, if he sees what his responsibilities and accountabilities and his standards are, then that helps him understand what this is all for and why he should be his greater version. If you made the tunnel walk about Nebraska football and Nebraska football at its highest level, the best of Nebraska football, make the tunnel walk about Nebraska football. And the other part of that is, and I get that, I don't know, I'm assuming that there are club levels that you can buy to be a part of the tunnel walk. But if you said one side of it is Husker greats and the other side is people who want to pay, it's going to sell.
Yeah.
And you're going to make money. And of course, now what we understand is that you're in the new day and age, you're probably going to have to give Farley some extra money just to go down there and sign autographs and take pictures the whole pregame. But that's fine too. Puts them right next to the field.
I'm not in it for the money.
Easy. No, but you would, I mean, right?
Not just you, everybody is.
Right. Right. But then the other part of it would be, and we talked about sections and student section and otherwise. But if there was a section, and I know that former players, I hear the conversations from former players saying that they would like a space that's for them in the stadium. That's for them. Like, okay, Bill, get a card, we've got the credentials. We know that they can put a face on it. But if there was a section that if you lettered at Nebraska and you have to fill out a form and it says, okay, Farley from the years that you played and has your picture on it, that you and a other get a ticket and it's in this section. Well, what I know about that section is it becomes the most popular section in the stadium. And two, the sections next to those and behind that section becomes the most popular section in the stadium because those people are going to buy those tickets to be next to the Huskers.
This man is a genius.
Like they're going to be next to it. Well, look, you create the value for anything. It's no different than what we do here at the Ticket. Is that if I give you access to people that you want to be around, you accept the access and then you start to understand the value in it and then you work from it. But if you did that, you could put the student section next to the alumni football section and just enjoy yourselves. It's a party. Like it's a real thing and the money moves. But I think that if you're making a money decision versus a successful football decision, sometimes you bump your head. Mm-hmm. Once again, Nebraska will have the opportunity and the responsibility of deciding what moves it. Do Husker fans move this thing? Is this for Husker fans? Is this for the people who buy tickets? Is this for and then which of the fans? Is this for rich boosters who get a different deal? Or is this from the lay fan who just loves Husker football? They're not millionaires, but they have love for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it for the students? Because if it's for the accountants, you lose focus. Winning football, a positive football experience, can't be about that money at the bottom line. It has to be about the other things. So I think it's all stuff. Farley, would you as a former player, would you be interested in being able to have a section that's you and the teamies and the bros hanging out during games? Because first of all, the IQ of that section would be phenomenal.
And the camera shots, I mean, make the TV networks fall in love.
Right? Like, oh my goodness.
We see it from the University of Miami. We see it from the Alabamas. We see it from the other schools in the nation, but, we don't see it at Nebraska. I mean, that's a good idea. But one thing I want to do, I had dreams about this plenty of times, is that right now, I would like to run the black shirt flag on the field.
Oh, there you go.
Bro, say that.
That's what I want to do.
Farley, say that.
I think having former Huskers lead the team out, running the flags on the field, if they can run, I mean, hey.
Sometimes you can walk them out.
Hey,
you can walk them out.
But me, I would take a full sprint.
Yeah.
Running the black shirt and sticking it into the middle.
Absolutely.
And letting them know this is our house.
Yeah.
But, people don't think like that. So, I try to keep things plain and simple. But that's one thing I would love to do.
That would be so good.
Maybe we can make it work.
Well, but here, look, what we know about this station, people listen. We can drive the conversation.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a spectacular idea.
Yeah. You can have Rashawn run a red flag out. I run a black flag out with the crossing bones and stick it in the middle.
Well, how about that? I mean, here's another thing. Just imagine a gang of 11 former Huskers, arm in arm, leading the team out of the tunnel. Look, wait a minute. If I get to go behind, look, y'all are arm in arm, showing them how this is going to be done. And imagine that on the big board and the pop in the building of seeing heroes arm in arm setting the standard again. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. And it's the thing about it, DB, because I love watching old games and I love watching the start of them when you see Coach Osborne walk out and the band of brothers, how they lock arm in arm coming out behind him.
Yeah.
Now me, I'm not a beginner of the pack guy. I want to come out last. Because when I come out last, Bob, guess what? I'm ready.
There you go.
I'm ready. Once I leave that locker room, I'm ready. That's why I like to come out last.
Yeah, I'm with that.
We've got plenty more to talk about here on the Captain. DP in for Vershawn. But we started this show off kind of talking about Nebraska basketball and what they'll have to do this offseason. Already a report that a Husker is now a former Husker entering the transfer portal. We'll tell you about that coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch the NCAA tournament from the round of 64 all the way to the championship. Bring your friends and family in to enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game, as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early, grab your spot, and settle in for a day of NCAA tournament basketball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Now's the time to schedule your air conditioner service check with Bryant. Make sure it's ready to keep you cool and comfortable when you really need it. Call Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats. Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures, all things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit-SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
This is 93.7 The Ticket.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Three-time national champion Vershawn Jackson.
Touchdown. Vershawn Jackson, number 34,
gets the touchdown.
Terrell Farley.
Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bakoven.
I've talked to a few cats. They said that Bach got some game, man.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer. Here he is, Vershawn Jackson.
The drum roll.
That was a good one, yeah.
That was good. I'm getting my wind back. All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Captain Show. We are powered
by
Power.
Infrastructure.
Power.
Underground.
Rent.
Excavating.
We're on 1040 O Street. We're here to talk about basketball, football, track, wrestling, and the wrestling team. They did okay, Bob. Did you watch any of it?
I watched a little bit of it, mostly actually when we were out at Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Yeah, a good. They have a bright future, and I'm kind of happy for these guys. I know the big guy from Hutch.
Yeah, Hutchmarker.
Hutchmarker got put out, but he did it. He did good.
And so from the family, it's
Hutmaker.
Hutmaker. Okay.
Hutmaker. The Huskers are the number 9 wrestling team in the country and the number 4 wrestling program in the country. I just let that marinate for a second. That Nebraska and its coach and its wrestlers, they finished 9th overall. Now, what would you do if Nebraska football finished 9th, or Nebraska basketball, or Nebraska baseball? Right?
Mm-hmm.
What would I do?
You'd celebrate.
I'll probably run down O Street in my boxes.
Right? Like I just want to listen, folks. Nebraska track, wrestling, men's gymnastics is top 5 in the country. Women's gymnastics was top 20. Baseball is arching towards that elite space again, right? Bravo to that. Basketball, top 3 in the Big Ten. Women's basketball, top 5 in the Big Ten. Listen. Say it. It's okay to celebrate good things, because the other stuff shows up. Whether you like it or not, the other stuff shows up because it's competitive and there are humans involved.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the last time when Nebraska had so many great teams that we put on for everybody. Like, you could say the baseball team, how they're doing, the wrestling team, as you go on women's, men's basketball. It's been a long time. Now we have football trying to surge back. Once football surged back, then I think the whole university will be back as a one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know people don't want to necessarily hear this as we say, but that's part of, I think, Trev Albert's legacy here is going to be, a lot of it is that he left in the midnight, but a lot of it also is going to be that when he took over the programs, they weren't up for athletic department of the year or anything like that. And they do the Governor's Cup and all that, and it's certainly turned around, which makes it all the more confusing why that happened. But anyways, we don't get stuck on that again.
I think Bach is a secret Trev Alberts.
Oh, I love Trev Alberts. I'll always love
bring
Trev
it up.
Alberts.
Okay, we're gonna bury it,
because he had 15 sacks that one year.
He's
one
that
of
a
the
Nebraska record?
That's still a Nebraska record. Yeah,
there's literally not my next book, but the very next book is. It asks the question, what percentage of a thing is everything? Now, I'll say it again. What percentage of anything is everything? So if I said that Bach is a great human being, but Bach will tell you what his flaws are, we're both right. And then the percentage of degree is where it gets really interesting, right? How much can I forgive Bach for his flaws and accept his flaws and then still accept him as good? Because we will tell you, and Farley, you can say this, right? That a portion of your life was built under a certain premise. You changed and evolved and grew from that premise. A part of you is still that person because you experienced and you know it. But the more important thing is what percentage of that is you now. have you put the small flaws away and become a greater version? Nebraska has to go through that and decide, listen, how good can we be? Should we be? Do we want to be? And as we talk about people, we say, listen, there's good and not good in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment we accept that, then it changes the conversations we have. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Like, it's just that Trev was a great Nebraska Husker football player. He also stepped up to do a thing which in principle was honorable, which is represent and lead the athletic department. And in that, you're asked to do some things that aren't cool. They're just not good things. You just can't say it, but somebody is in a position of authority over you that says, this is what you will do, period. Does that make him 100% bad or 100% good? Neither. It makes him him, and he had to accept. We have to accept that parts of Trev were exceptional. Parts of Trev were not.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Again, I think when we look back, and that was, again, this is part of the shocking story of all this was surprising because it was on such a good, a pretty good path at least. Is that, the red carpet experience, volleyball day in Nebraska. I mean, there's going to be some stuff that you look back at Trev Alberts as an athletic director and say, man, he really kind of had things rolling there. That's why Texas A&M wanted him. It's not because he was a bad athletic director. It's because he was at least, publicly making things look pretty good here at Nebraska. But I always do this. I mean, I'm a radio host. And so I could sit back and try to get people riled up and get excited about, yeah, he's not a Husker. He's not one of us anymore. and a lot of the text line will say, yeah. Trev Alberts' name is on the stadium. Trev Alberts has given a lot more blood, sweat, tears, hours into this program than I did, both as a student athlete and as an athletic director. Trev Alberts is the epitome of a Husker as far as, again, hours put in and stuff like that. How can I say that he's not when I never, all I do is I'm a fan.
You can say he was a great football player at the University of Nebraska. You can also say that it was honorable in what he intended to do, or at least we hope his intentions to do as the athletic director. But he also failed at some things that are absolutely a part of the requirement of being an athletic director. Sometimes you have to correct people in positions of power. Sometimes you have to stand up for the little guy. Sometimes you're supposed to stand up for the people in your charge. And then there's sometimes you have to stand up to the people who are in positions of authority to say, there's another way, this isn't right or good. And it's all a part of it. Like, you can say, I'm mad at you for leaving.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, like you can say, I'm like, okay, I don't like, there's nobody that wears Husker scarlet and cream that can say they were happy seeing Trev in the Texas A&M colors immediately after breaking hearts. Like you can say that. You can also say there's obviously some reasons involved. And again, until we know the reasons in full, we just speculate and we what we know versus what we don't know. And then look, things happen. And when people tell you who they are, accept it. Accept who they are. Make your decisions based on what you know to be true. That there's some stuff that went on that wasn't cool.
Right.
Either side, both sides, facts. Like things happen. You can say it sucks. You can say that we deserve better. You can say that I don't care. Because there are people that don't care. Like, just do the business, win football games, I don't care. All of it is up to the individual, choice is yours. But you can say, I love him as a player. I love what he did as a player at the University of Nebraska. You can say that you loved what he tried to do as an athletic director. You can say it sucks that it ended the way that it did and how it was. All of those are fair and probably right. So have at it.
For me, I think Trev just showed us what every other person, coach, player, AD in college football shows us that they're not loyal. I mean, I don't know if it was money. I don't know if it was a better school, but at the same time, he came in and did some great things at Nebraska. He did some bad things at Nebraska that we know of, but at the same time, I thought he had Nebraska going in the right direction. As an AD, I know it's some things he could have did better as an AD, and I know it's some things that as a university we could have did better.
All of that is fact, Black Shirt. All of that is.
But at the same time, I'm kind of disappointed because you only gave us 2.5 years. I wanted to see what you had in store for Nebraska for 10 years. I mean, for you being, you can't take his name off the stuff, off the stadium. You can't. The wind may blow it off.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
the wind may blow it off.
Like something gets unscrewed, and then next thing you know, the wind blows and it goes flying out of Memorial Stadium just as he did.
Yeah, I can say I'm more upset at Trev Alberts than probably I was upset with Scott Frost, because Trev was like a leader. Just being the AD, that's the type of person you look up to because they makes the deal for this university.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah,
there's a lot. There's a lot to it, and there's so much. Yeah, all the conversation about that. I mean, today's the transfer portal's open, so we know.
Transfer portal's open today?
It's open.
Yeah.
So we know that changes will come. It's also the change in the coaching season, like the coaching carousel, the button was hit. Some coaches will move up, some will move on, some will move out. That's just the nature of the beast. And we know that Utah State, folks watch what you're doing with fewer resources and say, okay, if you can do that with fewer resources, how about you come to a place where we have lots of resources? So let's go from Utah State to Louisville.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, money.
Mm-hmm.
You went, look, if you have never been to Logan, Utah, let me tell you, there is a lot. There's a joke that says, if they ever tell you that you only have a month to live, move to Logan, Utah, because every day seems like an eternity.
So it's not.
It's perfect for the people who are there. That's all you know.
Yeah.
But okay, you don't have the resources of Lincoln, Nebraska. You don't have the resources of Louisville, Kentucky, or Atlanta, Georgia, right? You don't have. So if there's just cause for the leadership to change positions and leave, there's just cause for the student athletes to change, to upgrade their situation, to better their situation, et cetera.
Yeah.
That's where we are now. Is that players and coaches are going to change because we've lost the focus. Again, it's about money. We've made the focus money. We've taken away the focus and priority on being good people in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Like listen, you can win and be a good person. You can win and be a bad person. There are people who are simply focusing on being money people.
Yeah.
And that's what sports. It's not college sports. It's the same can be said for high school sports. It now can be said for AAU and now for Little League sports. People will have to pull themselves out of the hole that they're in and figure out what the priority for this stuff is, because this is where you are. This is the accumulation of a lot of greedy people making decisions and being empowered to do so.
Yeah, and to your point, though, it's been going on with coaches and leadership for quite some time now, the player empowerment era, and maybe we can get to some of the things Deion Sanders was talking about, because Robert Griffin thinks that the player empowerment era will head to the NFL as well. But just to pay off, too, on some of the things that we were saying, first of all, Darian DeVries, congratulations to him, taking the job at West Virginia, of course, from Drake. His son, Tucker, who it feels like has been in college for 8 years, but it's only been 3, so he's got another year. We'll probably follow him. That will be kind of exciting. They have Creighton connections. I know Drake was a popular pick, didn't quite get it done this tournament, but still, Darian is going to move up. The other thing is, and we teased this before getting to this section, according to On3, Nebraska freshman Ramel Lloyd Jr. has entered the transfer portal Of course, 6'6" guard is a former 3-star recruit out of Long Beach, California. It's a report from Jamie Shaw of On3 Sports. Maybe not the most surprising to be the first. Like we said, there's probably going to be a few guys that move along. Of course, very good connection with 93.7 The Ticket and yourself, DP. So let me ask you on your initial thoughts on Romello Jr. hitting the transfer portal.
I'm in the Farley family, right? That the Lloyd family, my relationship with the Lloyd family precedes Lincoln, Nebraska in every fold. And my relationship with them extends beyond Lincoln, Nebraska. Wanting what I know to be true was a high caliber, high quality, high integrity family asked me years ago about whether they should come to Lincoln, Nebraska, and whether they should. I gave my honest opinion, which was yes. Yes. That there's clarity in the honesty of that. And I can't make this statement any clearer. When asked, when they had other options, what are your thoughts on him being in Lincoln, Nebraska? My thought would be, I made the choice to be here. So I can say that would be a good choice. They get here and then things change. Circumstances change. In that, you haven't heard them bash Lincoln or the program or the coaching staff or any of that. They had their head down. They stayed to work. They did their thing. Focus. That's the type of family that we're talking about. Quality people. Quality people who simply made a decision that somewhere else was going to be better for them and what they're trying to accomplish for their young man. I applaud him today just like I applauded him then. And every day since and every day forward. I applaud him. It didn't work here. Didn't work for a variety of reasons. Finger point, thumb point, whatever you want to do. But the reality is, I'm rooting for the young man, and I hoped that he would make his bones here as a Husker at the University of Nebraska. There's another thing for him. There's another thing for the family, and I wish him well, as I would imagine most. Because if you listen to his show for 2 years, you would understand how good the young man is. On the floor, it didn't work for whatever reasons, and then they'll move on.
Yeah. I think too, I mean, we're in the portal era, I suppose. And so I think there's less pointing fingers and frustration from folks when people leave, especially when they're just situations that it's like, okay. And this could be at any point in time before the portal era where, situations like this would happen and somebody would transfer because he's just, he just hasn't hit the floor for whatever reason. Again, and I think there's some confusion behind that. I remember at some point during the season, Rock tweeted out that it was basically lacing up, and then that just never came to fruition. So it'll be interesting, like you said. I mean, part of the reason why I guess there can be speculation on why that is because of how quality the family was. They didn't come out and drag anybody down or say anything. And so I hope, like most people, Husker Nation will get behind their former Husker. I mean, it's sometimes about the way that you leave. That's what we're talking about Trev Alberts this whole time, and how you act when you're here. And Lloyd's and Lincoln was a great program here on 93.7 The Ticket. Learned a lot. I mean, a lot of connections from Rock. He's been nothing but a great guy when he comes into the studios, and Ramel as well when he comes in. So we again, can kind of echo those thoughts. Just wish the best to him. And intrigued to see what the next step is for him.
Yeah. I can tell you about, I never met the kid, but I met his father. His father did a lot for this community just in Lincoln. So, for his dad to follow him and still make the strides that his dad made, it shows a lot of good qualities in that family. So, and that's probably one hard thing to find in kids today, finding a good quality family that follows their kids and still try to help the community. When he did the camps and we did it over there live and helped them out. And it's just things like the little things that people do will go unreckoned, but we know what was going on.
Yep. There's so much through this. All of this is again, symptomatic of the day. Nothing that happens today hasn't happened before. It happened before. It happened in the 2000s. It happened in the 1990s. There were always situations, circumstances.
And you know what about it? It hurts because once you meet these young athletes, because we all been athletes ourselves a long time ago, but when you meet these young men and you become friends with them or mentors, it's like with some of the football players that I met, like Javier Martin. Met him. He was from Georgia. I knew a guy personally that I grew up with that trained him in Atlanta. He was like, hey, watch out for this kid for me. And I talked to Javier a couple of times, and then I get to meet the other Georgia kids. Grant, what's the other running back?
Anthony Grant,
and the other one
from Georgia, Gabe Ervin.
So I meet these young men, and like me, when I played, I was the only kid from Georgia, but these guys, it's 6 or 7 of them, and they have that foundation where they got each other. When I was here by myself, I was the only person. I had to hang with a guy from Omaha named Rashawn Jackson, but that's a whole different story. But
how about that?
Yeah. So, sometimes we forget the big things that the small people do for us.
Well, and a little bit of news, too, here within the last half hour. We talked about Danny Sprinkle at Utah State. Looks like he is going to take a spot that was left open by Troy Dannon. Troy Dannon, of course, fired Washington's coach before taking the Nebraska's job. Washington is now expected to hire Danny Sprinkle as its next head coach from Utah State, that from John Rothstein. Interesting. Like you said, it's kind of an open day, DP, to see where some of the movements are made. I think I've asked you this before, but the Final Four too. I know that's a big collection of former players and coaches getting together. How much truth is the business behind the Final Four weekend in coaching circles?
Let's just say that there's a time when I made a point to be at the Final Four. And to be in those circles, because the conversations that were being held, not only by the coaches, but the people who fund the coaches, the people who track coaches, and coaches share information in those spaces at a different level than at any other point. So your eyes become open to how business is really being handled. And the sad part is that most folks will never know how the business behind college athletics is really done. There's a portion of people that don't want to know. They don't want to know how many snakes are in the pit. They don't want to know what people are capable of and what moves them. There's the public persona, and then there's the business persona that when it's great, they meet at the top. So you can say that if whatever your job is, you do that, and that's the first thing first. But oftentimes, especially in today's business world, cash rules everything around me.
Money, green, yo.
Right? Like and so you have to know why people are moving the way they are. Even they tell you that I'm loyal to an idea, concept, university, that ultimately they will show you what they're loyal to. And look, get your money. Just as fans, have your eyes open. Have your eyes open.
Keep it open.
Yeah, have your eyes open. It's loud around you. Pay attention. Pay attention.
All righty. Money.
You got to say it like Don Cornelius. The Ohio Players.
All righty. 93.7, the fastest 2 hours in radio is Countdown. 1040 O Street. We are here. We'll be right back.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: a chance of rain expected throughout the day. See falling temperatures with a high around 52. Tonight, a chance of wintry mix and blowing snow possible. See a low around 23. And tomorrow, a slight chance of snow in the morning. Otherwise, mainly sunny and windy. High around 36. Meteorologist Kyle Clutcher for 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you are passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round. And their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Life is all about balance, so how about a little sweet and a little heat to make your week? At Wings and Rings, we're introducing our all-new Hot Honey menu for the month of March. Try our one-of-a-kind house-made sauce on the brand-new Hot Honey chicken sandwich or our Hot Honey shrimp and slaw. And of course, you can get it on the traditional boneless or smoked wings that have made Wings and Rings your go-to neighborhood spot. But don't wait, Hot Honey is only here until April 1st. So stop by Wings and Rings at one of our 2 Lincoln locations today, on O Street and on Village Lane.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on the Captain on 93.7. The Ticket. Terrell is out of the studio, but he'll be back here in just a second. Vershawn, however, is out of the studio today, but we do have DP alongside myself as we're kind of breaking down a lot that is going on. And I wanted to ask you, DP, about this player empowerment movement maybe hitting the NFL. Some big words over the weekend from Deion Sanders on where Shedeur and Travis Hunter will be in the NFL draft. He said it's certain cities that ain't going to happen. It's going to be in Eli, referring to Eli Manning. And then Robert Griffin III said, look out, this is the beginning of the player empowerment movement hitting the NFL. So not necessarily just going to be on Deion Sanders in here. So let me first ask you guys, and Terrell, I don't know if you were listening. Did you hear what Deion said over the weekend? Obviously, that's not necessarily great news for the NFL because they're going to have to find a way to maybe battle this back. But while some and Deion haters would be quick to say that this is unruly and all that, it has been done before by powerful football families. So what are your kind of thoughts? Do you think that this is going to be just kind of a Deion Sanders looking out for his players thing? Or do you believe what Robert Griffin III is saying, which is the players are being empowered everywhere and it's going to hit the NFL?
Well, I don't believe either one of them because I think the owners make their decisions. I mean, you could always say that this is what Eli Manning did, but that was 20-something, 30 years ago. I mean, this is not going to happen in football because I just don't, the thing about Deion, that I think that's pure cockiness right there when you say things like that. I mean, a player dream should be to play anywhere in the NFL.
Yeah.
Not just to pick a team and, make you want to be a free agent as a draft pick. That's what you're saying. Basically, you want to pick where you go. That don't happen too much in the NFL. Never seen that since Eli, and haven't seen it since that.
Yeah, and there were talks about Caleb Williams and his father about whether they want to do that. But now
look at him. He want to go to Chicago. He has no choice but to go to Chicago.
Well, okay, so a couple of things. One, we understand that the NFL is fluid and it's a living thing and it has to be transformed. It has to evolve. It has to. It always has. The draft used to be regional. Then it used to be it was biased and only certain people could be drafted and certain ages. And it's fluid. It has to evolve because we evolve. We become smarter, wiser, more knowing. But Farley, I would ask you this, that let's take your senior year and the first year you're able to play professional football. Would you have had a different career had you been able to specifically match your talent with an organization that used you the way you were best used? It would have changed your entire life, your entire career, correct?
Yeah.
So why would we not want that for you? Just because things are the way they are doesn't mean they can't be adapted and adjusted. Adjust them to. Now you can tell me that look, the draft is iconic and it's a thing, but you have to really kind of step back and stop talking about the draft as you always have.
Well, it's built in somewhat to keep parity, though. I mean, it's not.
No, it's not.
Well,
no, it's not.
The worst teams decide to pick the best players. So
what does it say about the worst teams? The worst teams are the worst teams because they make bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are some teams that generally draft
They make
low,
bad decisions.
but it's built to award the worst teams and to try to keep them competitive.
Is that what's best for football? Is
It's
that
supposed to be?
Listen to me.
It's pretty solid for the NFL.
Okay, so if the NCAA decided to follow that theory, or high schools decided to follow that Alabama would only get to pick the 229th best, 28th best player every year because for parity's sake, like we need to protect I don't know who the worst football program, UConn, from Alabama. UConn deserves the right to have the best player in high school football. No, the high school football player has to reach some agreement about whose talent, what their talent is and where it belongs. We don't do that with coaches. We don't tell coaches, hey, we want the best coaches to go to the worst programs and make those programs better. No, there's no logic to it.
But it does kind of naturally happen again because you're getting if you need a coach, it's because you fired a coach because you weren't happy with what happened generally, or if you're a middle level program. I mean, it depends if we're talking NFL or college. But Jim Harbaugh's with the Chargers because the Chargers weren't happy with their previous coach.
Didn't Harbaugh leave? Hasn't he left several places?
Oh, yeah.
Was he fired from all of those places, or did he leave because there were better fits for his situation and circumstance?
Well, he'll leave every 5 years regardless.
Okay,
yeah.
so if that, but you understand that's a statement of Jim Harbaugh and of the system separately. That, quite frankly, the system needs some tinkering and some adjustments, and that's fine to say that it's not perfect because it's not. Most things aren't. If you're telling me that Deion Sanders having voice is bad for the system, the draft system, then say the same thing about Archie Manning. Say the same thing about Burt Jones and his dad. Say that about several people long before you say it about Deion Sanders. And then ask the next question, which is, why is it necessary? Because his young people, his two sons, deserve the right, to try to grab. They can't make, those two sons can't make anybody pay them. They can't make anybody draft them. Somebody, because their talent exists, will take them.
Mm-hmm.
But Farley can't go to the Green Bay Packers and say, you have to take me. No, there's no mutuality in it. And there's no statement in it. Farley could have gone to a place that wanted him as a blitzing linebacker. And if he had gone to the Bears and become Wilbur Marshall, it would be different. But if you turned Wilbur Marshall into, I don't know, old-time Baltimore Colts linebacker, he would have failed miserably.
But why not go to a team that's not that great and make yourself a star in that team a star?
Because everybody's not built that way.
Well, I'm built that way because I like what the kid at Texas did. What's his name? Not the C.J. Stroud. No, who was
C.J.
that?
Stroud, yeah, with the Texans.
Yeah, he went to Texas. Yeah. Now, do what he did. Go to the playoffs. First round pick, when the first pick of the draft, or the second pick?
Yeah, second pick.
Went over there, turned that whole organization around. New coach, new quarterback, new system, made it to the playoff first year.
Well, and it's, again, this is all structured not by mistake. I mean, like DP is saying, it can change and move, and like DP also said, and then I tried to make a point too. This isn't a new Deion Sanders thing. This has been done before. But it does. I don't know if it's the best look as far as if you're Travis Hunter, or I suppose if you're rolling with Deion, you're rolling with Deion, right? But I'd rather have Travis Hunter maybe, or his people come out and say it. Maybe Deion is his people, and he was speaking for his sons as well. But the problem is, obviously, and I'm, as an Arizona Cardinals fan, I can feel this, is that if you are one of those bad organizations, I mean, that's the problem with free agency. Green Bay for years has had trouble bringing people in as far as free agency goes. That's why, Julius Pepper signing all those years ago was a big deal. There are markets that are tough to get people to go if it's just left up to them.
But why?
Well, because of weather, because of bad hits, like the Browns.
Okay, so
the Browns are drafting a quarterback.
I got to freeze. I got to live a place I don't want to live.
If you want to play in the NFL, that's how it's been.
No, you understand that it's a weird thing to say to people.
It is weird, yeah.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Listen. The Texter talks about the collective bargaining agreement, and it's a big part of this. That the union is required. That's why unions are required, because people on businesses and bosses on their own don't always work in the greater interest of the people who are doing the jobs. They're not there. They're there for profit and business rather than the people. That's why unions are required. That's why these conversations have to happen. Look, there's no right or wrong to it. It just is that the NFL and its agreements as the partners that it's decided to do business with, which is the players union, they will have the conversation over what's best for both sides. And then they meet on the bridge in the middle to make sure that nobody burns down the bridge on either side. You don't want the owner's money to be messed with because they make the investment and the commitment, but you also understand that the assets, nobody's coming to a game because of the owners. They're coming because of the players. And we also know that those assets have limited timetables on their value. So be careful who you give your value to, right? If Farley has to make a decision whether he wants to tie his name to me and me to him, when we meet in the same place, we're both good and we can go forward and get things done. But if Farley believes that, you know what, I can't give my name to 93.7 The Ticket because they don't stand for what I stand for, or they're not going to look out for me, that's a statement. I need to know that. I need to know that. Like, the vetting process exists for a reason. It's not wrong because Dion said it. There are people that will say it's wrong because Dion said it. And it's not right because Dion said it, because same thing. If he's making a statement for his sons and for his players that he suggests as their mentor and leader and as their dad in this particular case, then I'm never going to tell Farley how to raise his sons. That's a Farley family thing. That's a Sanders family thing we're talking about.
But don't you think it hurts their draft spot, or when it's time to draft them? Don't you think when they say, "Oh, this team calls, oh, we don't want to play for y'all," okay, then it trickles down to other teams. They hear this, and it hurts your spot. Now instead of going in the first round, you're going in the third or fourth round.
Well, I think too. I mean, and Dion has his level of respect, but it's kind of like the LeVar Ball thing. It's like an over-involved dad is something you don't want at the high school level. And going into the pro level, I don't think it helps.
So let me pause you right there. Do you think the millions, and I mean millions of dollars, that the Ball family has generated for those young men would have happened without Dad being exactly the version of him that he's been?
No, I mean, if it's about money, then yeah, he's done well financially by making it about him.
In that a dad thing that he needs to do what's best for his young people and his family?
I don't know if it was best for them. Maybe
because them shoes weren't best for that kid.
No, Farley, you know how much money he made on those shoes?
Yeah, but it messed his son's career.
How much collectively are the Ball contracts currently? How much money have they generated for guys who haven't dominated the NBA? Guys who, in real speak, are base level NBA players collectively, because some of them have talent but haven't produced. Some have produced but
injuries.
Right? You got things going on.
Yeah.
But if you took the number that's been generated and the interest, because he's given them power and authority that they would not have had without him.
Again, I don't think financially it's not a bad decision, but to me it would have played into my drafting or thinking about bringing guys on. Is LeVar going to be there? And I think the same thing can be said with Dion. Now that doesn't have to be all a bad thing. I mean, I think Dion has a little bit more going for him than LeVar did, but it's a factor that's not there for many of the players. But it also is there, just not publicly for many of the players.
I'm clear in that, and the texture says life isn't measured by money. There's also integrity. I live by that creed, that good people doing good things, money will do what it does. I'm cool with folks saying that they don't like Father Ball for whatever reason. Not that it matters, because it never reaches him. It never reaches him. I understand Dion, whether you like Dion or not, as a person, coach, mentor, whatever, that his statement was simply, for his young people, this is where he stood. Now, Deion Sanders, in the football world, in the drafting world, in the management world, has earned the right for voice. He's earned the right. So accept his voice, however you feel about it, and keep it moving. Because then you're getting into the personal stuff. And the personal stuff really doesn't change because Archie Manning stood on a podium and declared that there were certain teams that his kid was too good to play for, that he deserved right to say. John Elway decided. He told the he told the league. He told the Baltimore Colts, "Nope, I'm not playing for you." Are we talking about John Elway because of that? Are we beating up John Elway's legacy? Are we calling him an a-hole because he decided how this was going to play out for him?
I'm sure in Baltimore they might be.
Right. I mean, like you get that. Like it's literally the thing we were talking about earlier. What percentage of a thing is everything? Like you can't say that Lamar Ball is a bad dad. No, you don't like parts of what he's done, but he has successful kids. They're productive in the society. They create and generate things, and they're good people. What are you saying?
Well, just again, if I'm a league, if I'm a team, though, I mean, it is like I said, it's kind it's a factor that's not always.
Shouldn't have never made those shoes, though.
Right? Those shoes were terrible.
Yeah, look at
those shoes. Those shoes were terrible.
But they sold.
Right.
Craziness.
They probably at Kmart right now. Or
Yeah,
but
you can't even find them on eBay, man.
Take us out, Bob.
All right, you listen to the captain here on 93.7 The Ticket. One more segment. We will have that when we get back on 93.7.
Shout out to Deco Dave for the Philly cheesesteak.
That's right.
Crazy. Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Women may be complicated, but I make sure buying jewelry isn't. Your gal has a style, and you can figure this out. Is she more of a classic necklace kind of gal, or does she rock the boho chic vibe with layers of delicate bracelets? This is crucial intel. Not trusting your intel? Stop in the store and we'll sort out the details. I promise to make this super easy. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service, we call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group are Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. Navigating the legal system can be stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. When you're in need of legal assistance, trust Liberty Law Group to fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Captain on 93.7 The Ticket. Vershawn out today, so we've got DP in the building. And, of course, there's plenty going on at the university. And we've been basically, I know we started out with a little bit, but...
we were going to spring football.
Spring football, we've kind of lost away from. Spring football starts today, so that's obviously exciting. It's crazy, and a lot of it due to the success of the basketball programs, but... I don't know. And maybe the Trev Albert stuff, it just feels like spring football snuck up on us, even though they're doing it considerably later than they usually do.
No, basketball got good. That's what the sneak up is, that you had two teams playing an NCAA tournament. That hasn't happened in how long?
Yeah.
Right?
It's thrown us off.
The schedule, the calendar's so off. It's so off in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Because this should be the right way that it leads up, which is, you got basketball tournaments, you got wrestling tournaments, you got gymnastics tournaments, you got all this stuff. And then spring practice comes up, and then you focus on that. But there's been so much other stuff going on. And remember, it's a softball program with the best softball player in the country who's just not playing. Like, you got a baseball program with off a great weekend and RPI off the charts, and wow.
What's baseball record?
18-5, 19-5.
Ooh, good.
Right? Like, they're doing their thing. I'll say the texture says, I act like it wasn't controversial then. No, I'm old enough to remember how controversial it was, which is why I brought it up. That in the days before, there are players, I'm old enough to remember Kurt Flood asking for free agency. Like, it wasn't always this way. So you have to go back and remember that, things change, right? The draft has changed. Was talking to a group this weekend about, the phrase student athlete, that it didn't exist until the 50s. And somebody had to be killed on the football field for it to happen at some college in Texas, that in order to not pay life insurance benefits to his wife, a football player who was military and was working, played football, took a fracture to the brain, died. The wife filed insurance. The college didn't want to pay it, so they created and crafted this thing saying that, listen, separate from normal responsibility under this window, we need to create a separate thing that protects universities from these athletes. So let's create a thing that doesn't exist, because it's really hard to monitor and boundary a thing that isn't real. So they came up with the term student athlete. Now, it's evolved, because what that means, there are people in America who talk about student athletes so that they can say it is important for you to be a student first, just for life principles and otherwise. But there are those who use that phrase for control, for profiteering, and that's a real thing. All of this evolves. We're just in the evolution of it all.
Well, I guess we heard that.
Well, you know, we just say, listen, be mad
He make it all happen.
or not.
Other shows they be lacking.
All right, y'all. That would do it for the fastest 2 hours in radio. Get ready for Adam Carricker Live.
That's right. Steve Warren is a special guest today.
Oh,
Nice.
Ooh, that's my man.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to the Captain Show. We are powered
by
Bauer.
We giving you the game. You ain't got to buy a ticket. Hey, we giving you the game. It'll never be the same. The ticket is the name. Headed to the Hall of Fame. It'll never be the same. Nah. Hey. It'll never be the same. It'll never be the same.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most. For all your